Hello everyone, this is Yashoda here. I am born and brought up in Bangalore, that's South India, and I have moved to Riga in 2017 to do my masters. And currently, I'm working in Lithuania from past 1 year. So that's me.
Hello,
Hi,
how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. It is so nice to see you today.
Same here. It's been such a long time. We met on
Yeah,
September
you
4th for my birthday. Yeah.
oh, yes, yes. And even though you're in the country next door, we haven't been
Exactly.
able to travel. So it's nice to be able to have some conversations online. So
Definitely. This is very exciting to see you after such a long time and having a great conversation. I'm hoping this will go amazing.
yeah, it will. We will will it to go amazing.
Yeah,
And today you'll tell us a little bit about your story. I think you have an interesting one since you ended up in one place and then ended up in another place, and maybe tell us a little bit about that. But I'm going to start
Mhm.
with uh, your beginnings.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Beginnings are very interesting always.
yeah. Tell us a little bit about the place that you were born and grew up, and a little bit about what it was like for you, what you were like in your childhood and your family, but also about the place and what that place is like.
Definitely. Well, I'm born and brought up in Bangalore. Bangalore is a part of South India. Um, it's actually on a scale, if you have to say how Bangalore is in whole India, it's more of a developed metro city where people are very busy, and it is also called Silicon City of India because there's so much IT over
Mhm.
there. IT business, a lot of things, very competitive world, I would say. Bangalore is. So growing up in such competitive city, it was always very competitive to be this person who is know it all so kind of thing. So yeah, I was born in 1992. It was the year where I born into a family where it was all so crazy, I would say, because I'm the last kid for my parents. I'm the third last kid, and for my dad and my mom, I've been pain in the ass, actually, if I have to say you. Growing up, because I was very naughty kid, but I was academically good. I was doing good with my academics, but when it comes to curricular activities, I was always on top. I wanted to do things which is very entertaining, because I believe entertaining is something which is really interesting all my life. So yeah, growing up in Bangalore with my parents, with my siblings, my brother and my sister was really very interesting, actually, I would say you. So yeah, and we come from an upper middle class family in India. There's very different way to weigh what kind of family you are. So there is something called lower middle class, upper middle class, and just middle class, and then rich poor and all. So yeah, I come from an upper middle class family, which I believe personally I'm a privileged child all my childhood. Like I've been given everything what I have been asked by my parents. So Bangalore. I don't know what particularly we have to tell about Bangalore. Bangalore is something very all in one place, actually, in India. Everyone in India, from north to south, if they want to do something in their career when it comes to IT, so they all end up in Bangalore, because Bangalore is famous for IT, information technology and computers. So I have also worked in Bangalore for 2 years after my graduation, bachelor's. After that, um, there was a time where my dad was like, no, you need to go out, explore world. This is not what you have to do all your life. So usually, which is not common, which you don't see in Indian parenting, that a father letting his daughter or encouraging his daughter to go out and do something for herself, or do something like which no one tells it. Like, it was something very new for me itself. Like my father, my dad, especially my father, was a very strict person, growing up. He was very strict. He never used to allow us, like everything was in eyes, he used to talk everything in eyes. He used to not even open his mouth and tell, this is, you're not supposed to do this. Everything was in eye signs, like this, like this, like this. So it, growing up with such strict dad, and then over the period he becomes a friend of mine, and then he encourages me and asks me to get out of my comfort zone, do something for myself, be an independent woman. That was something very new for me to see in my dad. So yeah, he was the main reason for me to come out of my comfort zone, that is coming out of India and doing something in abroad, doing my masters, getting a job. He has always encouraged me, and my mom as well. Like she is the backbone system of my family. And moreover, my dad was a businessman, my mom also was a businesswoman. They both worked together to give us the best life to their kids. So growing up seeing them working all the time around the clock was something which also motivated me to do something for myself. Today I'm a workaholic. I love working. Even if morning 8 o'clock if I start, or 9 o'clock if I start, I will be working. Working is something which really helps me to function around that too. The period of pandemic, if you don't have work, oh my god, it's very challenging to even survive. But the work is something making me sane, like to be in a sane mode,
Mhm.
not to go crazy. So I personally believe that the reason why I feel work is something which keeps me busy and not thinking much about, which is not required. So it is, I think, because of my parents. I've seen them growing all my life working around the clock. So this is it, growing up seeing them and getting the best values and principles from them, or something which I will always cherish. So
You talked about it feeling different, that your dad was encouraging you to leave them and leave India. Is that because the interconnectedness of families there usually, mm, I don't want to say requires, but pressures people to physically stay close to their families? Or is there another reason that, like, what is the family structure in India that makes it unusual for families to send their children further away? What do you think?
the interconnectivity of families over there is only because um, we have huge history. India has a huge history, and we have such huge families. Back our ancestors had it. So someone has to carry it, and I believe in it. Someone has to carry the heritage. So coming, if the elders don't tell the upcoming generation how life has been, the upcoming generation will never carry on that heritage towards the next coming generation. So it is definitely not families or some interconnection closeness of families. I believe it is because he wants me to see what life is. He wants me to see. I think it was so comfortable for me in India that I would never experience all this. Having your loved people around you, I would have never experienced something which I have experienced in couple of years back. I think that is the reason he made me have this kind of, he wanted me to have a perspective towards life. Not only being around your loved ones and not getting challenged. I was not getting challenged enough back in India. I never felt that I'm being challenged. I felt I was in a very comfort eggshell, actually, if I have to say. I was still a baby. It was so much. I'm sure they have slept every day thinking that how are we doing, how are we even surviving, even though they made us come here. Like he made me come here. I am sure he will be thinking, how is she been, did she have a breakfast, did she have a lunch?
Yeah,
It's
they
always
still
there
worry
in his
about you.
mind. Initially when I moved here, I still remember that my dad used to call me every day morning, because in India early morning it's 6 o'clock, and here it is still 4 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the midnight, because we are 2.5 or 3.5 hours in the time scale behind. So he used to call me and he's like, wake up, you have to eat breakfast. I was like, dad, it's just 3 o'clock, let me sleep. So that is the whole equation. He was always there, he's always been there. um I'm very thankful to that. I will always be thankful to my mom and dad, both of them. They are just, I would say they are just perfect for me. I could never imagine a better parent than them. So yeah.
So dad, maybe mom too, a little bit, started this idea of, okay, you need to travel, you need to maybe live abroad. And what did that process actually look like for you? How did you figure out how to start that? And what logistics did you need to go through? What processes did you need to go through to make that actually happen?
Well, when I finally agreed that I'll be moving, like I want to do my master's, he was very excited. He had all the things ready. He had made the process already ready, so smooth for me that I didn't had to think so much about the process. He knew everything. So we had a like one of our relative, his daughter lives in Czech Republic, Prague. She had gone through a couple of process, and she knew some agency kind of thing which helps Indian kids to move abroad to do their masters. So they were pretty much taking care of all the process, like all the documents and stuff and thing. I just had to hand over all my documents to them. And for the embassy, oh, that is a very interesting story. I have to tell you this. I remember we had to move to means we had to travel Delhi, that's New Delhi, India's capital, to have my visa done because I had an interview with the visa embassy. So it was very like heavily raining that day, and lucky. So I wouldn't say luckily. It's something that um, I was like, we were fortunate. We met some very nice people from Chandigarh. They helped us around because we went through flight, but we didn't had any vehicle over there. We just rented a Uber. We rented a Uber and we went to the uh, embassy, and the embassy was still not open because we just wanted to be on time, and it started heavily raining and we were almost getting drenched in rain. But then this family came to our rescue and they said, you can just sit in our car, you can take a, instead of standing outside and getting drenched, because it's an interview, you can't just go inside an interview getting drenched. So yeah, I think always I believe there will be some person always um, to help you when you really want something to do, like you want to achieve something or you're looking up to that, you have to do this, and there will be someone to come there and help you no matter what is their intentions and how it is. We are not like that, is humanity, I think. So that is when I started understanding humanity is itself a god in it. If we don't react according to what is happening around us and we don't help people, then what is the point of being a human? So these small experiences made me, and that day I got my visa done. And we flew back to Bangalore. In couple of days I received my visa, and then I had not booked my tickets. It was very at the end moment I had to book the tickets, and it costed me more, but still my dad was like, no, you are going no matter what. And at that point it was something financially we were going through, because in September I flew. Right before 6 months my sister also flew.
Mm.
My sister also flew to Lithuania to do her masters. So it was a very financial tight. I don't know how my dad did it, I don't know how he arranged the money, I don't know. He is a superman of my family. He knows how to when to get things done. So
What countries did you look at, and how did you decide where you were going to do your master's? Basically, how did you end up in Latvia?
frankly speaking, Latvia is something which was affordable at that point of my life, because I could not be a burden to my parents. Um, like I didn't want to take a loan and move to foreign to do my masters and then be a burden to my parents. And also the one which I was looking for course, the course which I did graduate in masters is business informatics, and the whole module was given to Riga, Riga Technical University, and that was very interesting for me. And I was fortunate enough to say that. I got something affordable place and also a best course which I was looking for.
So
So
you ended up in Latvia. And when you got here, what did the process look like, or what did you decide to do to get used to being in a country that was different from India? What was your
That's a
approach?
that is a very interesting question. I can keep talking on it actually. um, well, 2 years in Latvia, the year I landed in Latvia, that is 2017 September. Uh, I can only think the way I moved around. Even in Latvia as a student, if you start, you'll have to get things done. Few things like whether it is immigration, because after coming here, you come here with just visa, and then you have to apply for temporary resident permit because that's something which you have to get it done to live in Latvia for a longer period, like for 2 years until I do my masters. So there my dad wasn't there. you know he was the one who used to take care of every process very smoothly, but when I came here there was no one to take care of it. um, uh, I had to start being independent over there. I had to start working towards it, whether it is paperwork, whether it is being on time, reaching there. If And I remember my first appointment with immigration for temporary resident permit, I was 10 minutes late because I didn't know where to go. I think I got into the right bus, and then I moved one stop ahead, and I
Mhm.
got down there and I had to walk back, which made me 10 minutes late for the appointment. That's when I realized in foreign, that's wherever it is, appointment is very much important. You have to be there at 5-10 minutes early, no matter what. You have to make sure that you're reaching there on time. So that and all was something very challenging for me. So I got my temp. Luckily, my administrator was right there. My Riga Technical University foreign department administrator was right there. She helped us out. I told her the story that I lost the route. I had to walk back and find the immigration. And then she was like, "That's okay. We will get this done," because there's so many Indians in Riga who come to do their masters and
Mhm.
bachelors. So there are so many Indians, and I'm sure Riga Technical University and the immigration, no, it's very difficult for a starter to come and just land at the right moment in the immigration office. So they were very helpful. They got my things done on the very first appointment. And I didn't, even though I was late, and the city has always been generous. Actually, Riga city has always been generous for me. um, and eventually I learned it to be on time. Which is something I'm grateful now. I'm always on time. I get things all on time. So I learned that is something which I will always thank to Riga, to be on time. So that was something challenging for me to get things done. And then Riga challenges. First year when I was studying my masters, it was challenging. As I said, I didn't want to be a burden to my parents, asking every month money to survive here, to even the groceries, the rent, the dormitory rent, and things. So for 1 year, I lived in a dormitory. It was even to pay, it was just 100 euros to pay. Even though it was just 100 euros, it was something big back then for me. From where will I get the money? How will I get the job? uh, the job hunt started because I didn't want it to be this person, as I said.
Mhm.
uh, I worked in one call center over there in Riga. It was airline tickets. I had to sell airline tickets on a commission base. How much ever I sell, and according to that commission base, I would get the salary. That was very much messing with my head because I could not concentrate on my education, which was the main reason why I moved, not something which is like to make money. The main reason why I moved
Mhm.
to study. Uh, which I was not able to give concentration much towards education because I was so messed up with this job. Because for survival, I need money. If I need money, I had to work. I had to sell the tickets. I have to make a commission out of it. So, which was much more. I think that is when I started, like, it started driving me crazy kind of a thing, and also a bit more in a depressing way. Like, the whole idea changed, from education to survival. Every day it was all about survival. I had to survive. um so yeah, for a couple of months I worked there. It was very interesting to work there in that kind of cultural, like, a different way. Everyone are busy, everyone are on phone, they're talking to people all over the world and negotiating the tickets, the price and all. It was like a couple of months I worked, and then I got into Accenture,
Mhm.
Latvia, as an intern. I had my 6 months of experience in internship in Accenture. It was very, very, very nice. I would say it was a very nice experience for me to work in, because working in India for a corporate company and then moving to a company where you are working for a commission base,
Mhm.
and then again going back to a corporate company, Accenture, like, you are provided, like you're doing something. I understood the difference, how the corporate life is and how a call center job is all about, where the commission based salary has been given. So yeah, I started giving importance to the job for what we do. And then after the 6 months of internship, I was hoping that I'll be a permanent employee in Accenture, but the project sacked, and they could not hire the interns who we are working in that project as a permanent employee. So we had to end our internship in Accenture. I was expecting from Accenture to be a permanent employee, but it didn't happen. It didn't happen. And I was very upset. And I was very, very upset. I didn't feel like talking to anyone. I didn't feel like going out anywhere. Uh, so that was something challenging for me to. That is when I got to know that there is something called mental health also, because that is the time, even though I gone through the mental health problems, but again, it it struck me during the Accenture, when I left Accenture as an intern, and then didn't talk to a couple of months for my friends. And one of my friend came to me, his name is Vivek. He told, you're going through so much, let it go, don't have expectations. If you have an expectations, you will you will not be happy person. Having expectations, like, is always something bad. Don't have expectations. Life is giving you some amazing twists and turns. Just accept it and just move around with it, work around with it. So that's when I realized, yes, I have to I just can't be this person. So I came out and I moved with my friends from dormitory to the apartment. And that's where I lived with four Indians and one Latvian friend. She was just amazing. That is when I came into touch with cultural of Latvian. Till
Mhm.
then, I never had a Latvian friend. I never made Latvian friend with whom I can sit and talk how Latvians function, how their culture is and things. So being talking to her, being with her every day, so I seriously appreciate her, because she lived with four Indians eating the spices of India food,
Mhm.
because she's a Latvian. Latvians usually don't eat spices food. They most of the very, very normal, very healthy food. So now she's so addicted. I think she still eats spices because of us, because we converted her into spices.
Mhm. Mhm.
So talking to her, I understood having her opinions also matters. Just not going telling or agreeing with everything what people say. Till then, I was just going with whatever people say. I never kept my opinions. Um, each and every person in my life who with whom I lived in Riga, they have really given me some amazing, life lessons, I would say, where today what I am, I think it's because me having an experience and learning from them. It's something which is really, I would never, I'll be always very grateful for them. Even for my friend Ilva, my other four friends, Vivek, Santosh, Ashwin, um, and Kartika as well, yes. So yeah, it was really nice experience. Like,
And
I was waitressing in one of the restaurant after the Accenture internship. I had to do something for my survival. So I waitressed in one of the restaurant, Singh's restaurant in Riga. It's an Indian restaurant over there. I worked there. Even there, I used to meet so many multicultural people who used to come dine there. I used to have a lot of talks with even Latvians, even people coming from Italy, Germany, France, the tourist people who used to come. That gave me a very good exposure towards learning so many cultures, like how do they think, what do they think about India, how it is. how back there in their place how it is, waitressing was something which I think I would have never taken the waitressing if I had got the job Accenture.
Hmm.
I would thank in a way that I didn't get a job Accenture. Now sitting now, I would really thank Accenture that they didn't give that I didn't ended up in Accenture, because after that, the experiences what I have gone through, like met so many people, waitressed almost like for 8 to 9 months in that restaurant, being this person around, talking to people, meeting new people. It was so amazing. It was just eye opening for me that things are okay. You just have to express yourself. Until unless you don't express and meet new people, you will never have an experience of what life is. And Ilva taught me so many things about Latvian. It's like whether it is some salads. I don't know how to pronounce those names, but
That's
yes,
okay.
she used
So
to make
yeah,
some.
tell me a little bit about what so you had a Latvian in your life who was
Yes, yes,
someone who
I
could
did have.
kind of give you a bridge to Latvian culture and what things were like. What are the things that stood out to you about what she shared with you?
Uh, Seeing Ilva was a very, it was eye opening actually, I would say. She's a very opinionated woman. She keeps her opinions very strong. She knows how to talk, like, just not like blabbering, she knows when she talks, she knows the knowledge about it. She has a knowledge about it. It's not that she's just talking like that. So, independence, she gave me that kind of confidence that I can do anything. It's something like, even though I got it from my parents, but getting it from, friends with whom you live in the age of 25, that's really amazing. That too from a foreign friend, Ilva. It's like she was something very, very kind of an educative person, for me. I did learn a lot of things, whether it is about life, keeping my opinions. That is something which I like about foreign compared to India. I would consider Latvia as a foreign body for an Indian person. In India, we usually don't keep our opinions. We are scared to keep our opinions because
Mhm.
we think that we might offend our elders when we keep our opinions. We think that we are disrespecting our elders when we keep our opinions. So that is something which is not there in our culture, back in India. But here, it is always given an option. It's like there is always, you can always keep your opinion. It's not that you just have to say everything yes for whatever we say. So that is something very cultural thing which I learned from Ilva. And being happy no matter what, just be happy. She was a very positive soul. And when it comes to cultural, like things that whether it is dance or whether it is festivals and things, it's quite little different when compared to India. In India, like every month there will be some festival, if I have to say you, in India.
Mhm.
Every month we love celebrating our life in a very huge manner, like cooking, relatives coming together and having fun. But in foreign, that is in Latvia, the culture is so different. Even though they have very less festivals, they know how to make it very enriching. That is something which really I love it. But there is one festival, Yani's festival, in Latvia, that I never knew what it is. She's the
Mhm.
one who taught me that we are respecting the nature, we are coming all together and have.
Sometimes when you move abroad, one thing that I noticed is you also realize things about your home culture that maybe you didn't think, oh, this was particularly Indian when you were in India. But are
Yeah.
there things now that you're looking back, you're like, oh, that's a very Indian way to do or think? Are there Indian things that now you very consciously are like, okay, this part of Indian culture, I want to still be part of me, even though now I'm an international type person.
Yeah. Even though I have moved, even though I am living in abroad, I would like to keep my Indian roots with me, like celebrating the festivals, or inviting people around my, like, over my place, like having a good talk, serving them the food, that's me. That's more of me, it's there in me. I don't want that to let go, like
Mhm.
having, I can take even 50 people, I can host a party with even 50 people. I'm a hostess. So something that I would never like to let go, because here I have seen people are very independent. They need their space, they need their peace of mind. They don't like to be disturbed by anyone. They don't like to more communicative. They like to talk. I'm not telling they don't like to talk, but they have their boundaries, they don't want that boundaries to be crossed by anyone, which is nice. I learned even that from here. But again, being between this Indian culture and the foreign culture, and somewhere between this, I
Mhm.
appreciate this life as well as this life, but I would like to uphold the both the way of life. I would like now, I love being with around people. I love talking to them. I am uh, it's crazy to have people around me and having a discussions with loved voice and having a fun around it's always good. But I see this very less often here with people. Like, they don't make noise, they're very quiet. After 11 o'clock they don't even make noise, so that the people are not neighbors are getting disturbed, which is nice. But every now and then, it's like monthly once, or 2 months once, having people around and making noise is not something which is wrong. I would say, like, you are having a sort of
Mhm.
a good like, so you are socially building, you're socially
Yeah.
secure, socially secure. If anything wrong happens, you always have people around. You can just have a call and they're right there. I think that is one thing I would tell. So, and also, I have observed few things in here, that kids are more of rebellious, I feel. I don't know whether I'm right or wrong. They're very rebellious. They do what they want to do, which is at that age. I don't think, you're not respecting people in the bus. They're
Mhm.
shouting, they're talking so much. There are other people also who are there, who are traveling along with you. They're like nagging, they're doing, that is something which you don't very much find in this thing. The reason why you don't find in India, because they're scared of their parents, at that age. Oh, my parents can hit me. Oh, I'll be punished for this. Here you can't even raise your hand or voice even on the kids, because the government doesn't allow. There are some rules that you're not supposed to do, which is good, I would tell you, which is really good. But again, it's not something that uh, you should not hit a child because it is domestic, definitely. But the kids should be little, they should be aware that they should not disturb others life, so something
Mhm.
like that.
Mhm.
There Yeah, that is something which I would like to pinpoint over there, but it is just my opinion, not something like I would like to tell that it is more often here. But it is very rare you see it, but you see it sometimes.
Mhm.
They very rebellious over here.
You ended up moving from Riga to
Yeah.
Vilnius for work. What similarities do you see between Latvia and Lithuania, and what differences do you see between Latvia and Lithuania? Just again, from your opinion.
uh, from my opinion, actually these both countries are sister countries. They have very much similar culture, they have very similar people. um, it's I live in Vilnius. Vilnius is a very international place. There are so many people. They are very much accepting.
Hmm.
um uh, it's they don't stare at you or like some very different person or something. But in Riga, I did notice that's like not the youngsters but the elders, elder citizens of in Riga. They look that, oh, we are from some other place, which we are, but a look, it gives more of consciousness
Hmm.
in Riga. But whereas in Vilnius, you don't find it. But there is a place called Kaunas in Lithuania. There you do get this often looks when you go around, because they are not very much familiar with kind of skin tone or from the culture what we are. So yeah, I think that is one difference. I would say maybe Vilnius is something much more international, and there is so many businesses over here, and so many, and it is one of the growing companies when it comes to startup. There's so many opportunities over here, and there are so many other people, so many other diverse cultural people live here. So that is something which I have noticed. And uh, and I think in Riga there is less opportunities to find a job because there is no much companies over there,
Mm.
for international students who likes to do something else than Accenture and other companies. But in Vilnius you find a lot of companies where you get opportunities. So that is something which I saw when it comes to opportunities in two different like Latvia and Lithuania. And rest all the culture and all is similar, it is all the same. They are sister countries. They have been sisters for such long times, so there's no much difference over there. It's just that eating, maybe the food
Mhm.
can make a difference a little bit, not much. A food is little different. And yeah, and the housing, as a abroad person, like coming from a different person, like different country, and looking for rent here is more difficult actually. They usually don't end up giving to abroad people, the foreigners, because they think, what if we run away without paying a rent? So
Mhm.
something, they still have some problem when it gives to housing. It's both in Riga and Lithuania. And something which I really want to it's not only Riga or Lithuania, I would say, which I have
Mhm.
experienced in both the cities. It's that I was like, as soon as they see, the foreigners, they tend to charge you more, even though it is not the actual price, like when it comes to renting an apartment, they tend to charge more because they think we don't know more of the regulations and the idea of what it is. I've lived in a small studio apartment in Vilnius for almost 6 months, and I paid, I overpaid because I could not talk the language. One, second,
Mhm.
they knew that they're gonna, like, I'm not gonna go anywhere because I don't know what to do, where to go. So I have to end up paying them. So I overpaid for what which I was not supposed to pay. So that is something which I see a difference. Back in Riga, I didn't see that because I don't know about it, because my friends found apartment and we all moved in.
Mhm.
Back there it was not a problem. Here I did solely alone everything. So that was very challenging for me when I was moving to Lithuania.
What are one or two things that you would recommend either to Riga City or to maybe the people who organize the foreign students in Riga? What are what are one or two things that you would recommend that uh, you think would be helpful and make life more welcoming or comfortable for students coming in?
I think when students come in, there should be a community, whether it is in Riga or Vilnius or any other place. um, I think they should create a community where kids, like the students who are coming, they should be aware, what is the rent, what is the charge for the, how much you're supposed to pay for electricity, how much you're supposed to pay for gas, because we are not aware of it. We don't know what is the floor price and how it is done and stuff. So there should be some sort of educative videos or materials given to students, like, this is it, this should be it, and this is how it is going to be when we, and also I think uh, sometimes kids do come, end up, stand in front of the universities with their luggages, and they don't know where to go
Mhm.
because sometimes the dormitories are full. I wouldn't blame anyone over here, because we will have to make earlier appointments to have a dormitories and things, but still people who come end up here with their luggages. It's just good to have people helping around, making them comfortable, letting them know that they are there. So I think there should be a community which helps kids who are traveling abroad to have some sort of do's and don'ts. This can happen with you. There are these kind of people who may charge you more, and but Don't get fooled. There should be some sort of material or videos or
Mm,
something like audio also to help kids to know what actual the base ground is, uh, where they shouldn't get be fooled, something like that. It should be everywhere. It just not be somewhere dedicatively, but it should be some everywhere given
mhm.
at the point.
Great. Well, uh, last question. Any final thoughts or any final things that you want to say or share?
Um, it was when you asked me to do this. I actually have seen a couple of interviews in the past which you did. I was very excited. I was like, when you asked me this, oh, this is going to be so amazing, because talking to a friend is always a good, but doing something like this was really interesting for me, which I wanted to do. And um, and I something, I met so many people in last 4 years. It has made me to have my opinions and also kind of a perspective towards life. And for a fun fact, I'll be traveling to India in March. So after 4 years, I'll be going to India. So I'm sure India is going to give me a cultural shock for
Mhm.
sure, because I'm so comfortable right now in this sort of culture, having my space, having my own, being very independent and doing things by myself. It took 4 years to be me this, to I grew up. I became a human, I would say, as with my experience in last 4 years. So now going back to India, I think India will be kind of an abroad for me, even though I am
Mhm.
born and brought up there. But but I grew here as a person,
Yeah.
as a person. I think you are able to get me. It's like my experiences made me what I am today.
Mhm.
So definitely I feel I belong to here, but again, it is again in my head, a constant battle in my head. Where do I see myself going forward? Should I be here or should I move back to India? I think this trip to India, which I'm going to take in March for a month, is gonna help me kind of think that where do I see myself, because I'm sure Bangalore is going to give me a very big cultural shock, because 4 years ago when I left Bangalore was something different, and now when I hear from my
Mhm.
friends who live in Bangalore, it is a very different place, because I hear a lot of things which has changed over the period. So there's a constant battle in my head always. Where do I see myself? Which city I belong to? Where am I going to be this person going forward? So yeah, quite there. I'm not there, but yeah, maybe this trip to India will definitely help me figure out what do I want in my life. So I'm very grateful for all this 4 years. It has made me think. It has made me be an independent person. It has made me be this very thoughtful person who can make a little difference, who can make little difference. I wouldn't say big difference, but yeah, little difference, the work what I do. And I'm so grateful to my company and my all my colleagues who work with me, because I'm the only Asian who is no I'm sorry, I'm the only Indian who is working uh, in my company. And I know sometimes it is we don't understand, because it is communicative problem, because the we think uh, but at the end of the day, we work around, we make sure we are doing the best and coming together and making something really amazing in my company. It is very interesting. I work for this amazing blockchain industry, which is booming like crazy.
Mhm.
So yeah, every day is a lesson for me. Every day I take some notes when I do things in my business, like professional life. Every day I'm learning, whether it is professionally or personally. At the end of the day, when I just go to bed, I just think, what did I do today? Did I make anything which will make me happy? uh, so that is something which I would really tell each and everyone. And also my friends made me think it, like at the end of the day when you go to sleep, you should be having that satisfaction, that you did something. you contributed something today. It's just not you didn't do anything. And there have been days that I'm so tired, I don't want to do anything, I just want to be in my bed cozy and nice. But again, it's like 2020 has been such a hard year for the whole, like, planet earth, I would say. Everyone are in their rooms, in their homes, not able to travel. I'm sure people who loves traveling, they might be going crazy. But I would also thank 2020 that it made us sit and think. We were so busy in our life, running all the time.
Mhm.
We didn't had time to sit and think. But 2020 really made us to sit and think. What are we? Who are we? Why are we doing all this? What are we up to? What is the purpose of our life? Many people don't know what is the purpose of their life. And I think I'm trying to understand what is the purpose of my life. um I'm still not there, but yes, I started, at least I started thinking what is the purpose of my life. It's just that being born as a human is a gift, I would say, like, with the brains and with talent and stuff. So we should definitely make everything, the best out of it, being a human. So every day I think, what is the purpose of my life? Where am I going to be? What am I going to give back to the society? So that is something which I think every day. So let's see what happens going forward, and we will definitely be in touch. I will definitely let you know.
Yeah, it sounds like you'll be going back to India with fresh eyes, with a new
Definitely.
set of glasses, and it will be interesting for you to have another thought process around what your next step is going to be. And good luck with that, because I know when you're thinking through those things, it
Yeah.
takes a while to come to a decision about next steps. But thank you for sharing a little bit of your story, and thank you for spreading your positivity today. And yeah, good luck with your next steps.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mara. It was such a pleasure talking to you.